Good day, this is JNN Weekday News. I'm Lafayne Wigan. Here now are the top stories. Trade unions will be applying more pressure on the authorities to reconsider the application for an increase in the toll rates on Highway 2000. The matter will be placed on the agenda of this week's meeting of the Public Sector Monitoring Committee. Trade unions have objected to the request for a toll increase, which they say will place tremendous pressure on public sector workers amid wage restraint. Helene Davis-White, Vice President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, expects that following Thursday's meeting of the Monitoring Committee, it will be known how the government will respond to the toll authority's request. Meanwhile, Dr. Davis says there is not much the government can do to prevent the toll increase request from proceeding. He says there are provisions in the operating agreement for the highway which the government must comply with after the request is reviewed by the toll regulator. The government has dismissed a prediction by the parliamentary opposition that the country will fail future International Monetary Fund (IMF) tests. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips last night rejected the forecast as another attempt by the Jamaica Labour Party to discredit the government. The JLP yesterday stated that the country will find it hard to meet IMF targets because of the large debt and other challenges. The issue was raised by Member of Parliament for North East St. Andrew Delroy Chuck at the party's Area Council 1 meeting in Kingston. Meanwhile, the government has apparently cut $4 billion from its budget this fiscal year. The reduction mostly comes from lower projections for interest costs, which is expected to be $3.2 billion less than was calculated in April. Another $700 million was cut from capital expenditure. The latest projections were presented in documents released by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) following its fourth review of Jamaica's extended fund facility and approval of a US $70.9 million disbursement. It still means that Jamaica will see a fiscal deficit of $7.5 billion this year should revenue collections come in on target. The search has begun by the University of the West Indies UWI for a replacement of Professor E. Nigel Harris, who will step down as Vice Chancellor in April next year. Professor Harris has been UWI's Vice Chancellor for 10 years. The UWI said all qualified persons are eligible to apply. However, West Indian nationals within the region and the diaspora will be given priority. The closing date for applications is July 28. The successful applicant will take office in May 2015. The Vice Chancellor is responsible for, among other things, the efficient running of the university. And those were the headlines for this hour. You can watch or live stream at JamaicaNewsNetwork.com. I'm Lafayne Wigan, and this is JNN News Worth Watching.